especially during this time when, physical meetings are not available. But bear in mind, today, the content that I'm going to share with you will be equally, exciting, and as well as quality, will not be compromised. That's what I can promise. And the other thing that I would like to emphasize is that if you're first time, listening and also going through the potential income of Amway business that I'm going to present to you tonight, especially on the calculation part, don't worry. After this session, if you are not able to understand fully, that's perfectly normal, right? So the thing is, after tonight's sessions, right, you can jot now whatever questions that you have and talk to the people or your upline who brought you into the business, and they will be able to help you to answer all your doubts. All right. So let's start. Now, tonight, I'm going to talk about the Amway bonus and also the support system. But before I start, just a few housekeeping that I would like to do. Now, all the presentation, the materials are actually strictly prohibited, for download, or to share to your public, social media or whatsoever, because all the contents are actually protected by the intellectual property, right, within the ECVI. Okay. Now, all of us here today, I'm sure that we have joined Amway business, right? We have signed up. And the thing is, we have listened to the potential of the business before, all right? So the next thing that, we want to know is how do we do it and whether or not it is worth, our time to actually explore further, right, in the business. Now, I think in order to make that decision, the very first part, which is, the potential of Amway bonus and how we are supported, is then very important, all right? So one thing that I want to talk to you about is that rest assured that, if you are in the platform of ECVI, you're pretty safe, because throughout these 4 weeks, we will be covering different modules. And today I'm going to cover to you the very first module, which is the Amway bonus, how the money is, come by, why is there so much of money, we will justify one by one, all right? And after that, the second part of my presentation, I'm going to talk to you about the support system, how ECVI is viable and how it serves as a right tool to actually support our Amway business. Now, next week, we're going to talk about how to actually do the business, right? And in ECVI, we have a methodology called 8 Golden Keys and the 4 fundamentals. That will be the continuity from today's presentation on next week. And subsequently followed by module 3, the do and don'ts, plus how we do branding, and also the last module, which is the module 4. We talk about, how do we success with all the things that we have learned. All right. So let's start. Now, before I start, there are a few things that I want to mention, right? First of all, of course, we were thankful for the platform of ECVI. Now, regardless whether there is an, MCO, CMCO, or whatsoever, business still ongoing and the support is equally, complete, right? And the thing is, all of us are here today. I think we should be thankful, because if not of our sponsor who brought us into the business today, we won't be able, to get exposed to Amway and also to understand the value. And that usually will serve as a game changer in our life, which is a good turning point. So with this, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank, my sponsor, Ray Ang, who brought me into the business. I'm forever thankful to him, right? Now, before I go into detail, the first part of the presentation, there are a few, keywords that we will go through. But before that, the first thing that I want us to go through it. Amway has been around since 1959, worldwide, and also 1976 in Malaysia. So I guess if it's not worth our time to explore, I don't think, all the established publication like Forbes, like Wall Street Journal, and also the Harvard Business Review is interested to even cover, what Amway is all about. So that speaks volume, right? So which means that a lot of people are pretty excited and also curious about the potential of the business. It's just that, how do we go about it? That's the thing that I'm going to share with you tonight. Now, before we continue, I think there are a lot of frequently used words that, we will be encountering during our presentation, right? So just bear with me. I'll just go through the most common one that you will be able to see. Now, you see, when you log into the Amway website, you see a lot of keywords, right? For example, like PV. PV refers to point value, okay? And BV refers to business volume, okay? ABO price. ABO stands for Amway Business Owner, which means our cost price. And you also see a retail price, which is the highest recommended selling price, okay, in the website. Now, if you log into your Amway, product page, right, in any of the product, you should be able to see all the keywords here. Now, ABO price, right, retail price, and also the PV and also the BV, all right? Now, the first question you might ask is that, why can't we just put a price, right? Why do we need a PV? Now, essentially, it's actually very simple, right? If you have any specific product, bear in mind there are two main things. Number one is point value, and number two is the price, right? Now, why do we need the point value? I'll talk to you about that in a while. So today, I'm just going to give you the big picture of what I'm going to go through with you, all right? So do you know that there are actually 10 types of Amway income, in the Amway business? So I'm going to go through with you one by one, right? And, in Amway since 1976, there is an understanding and also agreement by the Amway company whereby, the core plan, right, which is the number 1 to number 9 income will be fixed, forever. And it will not be changed unless it is to enhance. Now, I'll give you examples, right? The structure of the bonus will be the same, right? But if it is for the reason of increasing the bonuses for the benefits of ABO, then it is allowed. But if it's just for the sake of the company to take out, because they want a higher margin, then that's not allowed. And that's the promise we had until today, right? And right now, economy is pretty bad. Since last year, a lot of signs has been coming in. Now, Amway, on his part, actually, introduces another plan called the Core Plus plan, which is on top of what we have been, having for the past like 60 years, right? Amway add another one so that it actually make the business income potential more competitive. Now, don't worry about the percentage or whatsoever. You don't have to memorize. I'll go through with you one by one. So just bear with me. Now, the first income that I'm going to go through with you is actually a retail profit. Now, retail profit is pretty straightforward, whereby if you join as an Amway business owner, you will be able to access with the cost price, which is the ABO price, right? But you are bound to meet someone who don't want to join the business, but they love the product. So when you sell the product, you acquire the product with cost price, and you can sell it with the retail price. So that margin of 25 to 30% will be your first income, which is your retail profit, all right? So it's as simple and as straightforward as that. Now, the next one that I'm going to share with you is actually performance bonus, right? Now, what is performance bonus? Now, do you remember that just now I told you that in any products, right, there will be a price, there will also be a point value, right? Now, the reason why we have point value is because we want to determine how much of bonuses, how many percent of bonuses we will be able to get that month. Just as simple as that. So right now, there is a ratio of the PV to BV, whereby right now, 1 point value is equivalent to about 4.2 or to 4.3 ringgit, right? But for the sake of easy calculation, we'll just take it as 1 point value equivalent to 4 ringgit, all right? Now, I'll give you examples. In performance bonus, right, the lowest that you can get is actually 3%. The highest that you can get is 21%. Now, in order to get 3%, I have to have a total consumption of myself and my whole group of network of 250 points. That means that if I convert to ringgit at times 4, it'll be equivalent to 1,000 ringgit. So in order to qualify for the 3% rebate, right, I will have at least consumption of 1,000 ringgit, right? So it's very clear. Now, in Amway business, you know, if you want to do any business, we would love to do it and to get the highest possible, right? Which is the 21%. So if you look at 21%, your own consumption plus your total network consumption, if it's equivalent to 12,500 points, if you convert to ringgit, it's about 50,000 ringgit, then you are entitled with 21% bonuses. Now, don't worry, I'll give you some examples. Now, if you do business before, you realize that, you know, as a reseller, when you take stock from the manufacturer, the higher amount of quantity that you take, the more rebate you will get, right? Which means that, I'll give you an example. Say, for example, I'm selling a shirt, right? And the cost price is 100 ringgit and the selling price is 125 ringgit. Now, if I buy 10 pieces from the manufacturer, they will give me a 3% discount, which means that for each and every piece, I'm actually paying 97 ringgit, all right? And if I take 200 pieces, I actually get 15% discount. And if I take more, 400 pieces, I'll get 21%, which means that it significantly bring down the cost price, whereby my profit margin will increase as well. Now, the same concept you can actually apply in Amway business, whereby the higher consumption of my network, which means that the more product I buy from Amway that particular month, the higher percentage of bonus I'll be entitled. So as simple as that. Now, in Amway, if you follow, you know, ECVI system, now a lot of people were telling me that, you know, to become a 21% is pretty impossible. The reason why is because I can't sell like 50,000 per month. It's so not doable, right? But if you work through the system, you realize that it is workable. And I can tell you that regardless of what, you know, background we are from, you know, whether we have experience in selling or not, as long as we're able to complete these 3 steps, we'll achieve 21% as well. Now, the first step is 600 PV, which means that to create a consumption of 600 points, which is equivalent to about 2,400 ringgit, right? Then we'll be entitled a 3%. Now, second step is actually to, you know, duplicate, right? Another 600 points. And accumulatively, we'll be able to get 3,000 points, which is equivalent to 12%. And of course, if we duplicate, you know, the 12% in the 600 PV to 3,000 PV, the 4, essentially we'll get 12,500 points, which is equivalent to 21%. Okay, now I'll give you examples. How do we calculate the bonuses is actually depending on the PV, what percentage, and the BV that will give us the bonuses. Okay, I'll give you examples. Now, what if we're able to create a consumer, right, who consume about 600 points per month? Now, what is 600 points? 600 points, if I were to divide, I would times back to ringgit, is equivalent to 2,400 ringgit. If I have 10 customers, right, buying from me, essentially, averagely, a customer spend about 240 ringgit, which is very practical, right, for, you know, daily consumption and so on. And if I'm able to achieve 600 points, you see, you look at the tiering, right? 600 points is more than 250 points, but less than 900 points. That's why it falls under the 3% category. Now, how do we calculate the bonuses then? This is the first step, right? So 600 PV, I times 3% because it falls under 3%, and I convert it into ringgit. So essentially, I'll get 72 ringgit as my first bonus. And that's the very first step in our performance bonus, right? Now, second step, if I'm able to, you know, find 10 to 20 customers that give me 600 points accumulatively, right? I will be able to teach others to do the same thing as well, right? So the second step, what if I'm able to duplicate or I'm able to teach and work together with 4 other business partners and also, you know, lead them how to build a 600 PV consumer network. And at that time, you realize that, you know, the total PV that we have is 3,000 points. And that will actually give you a 12% entitlement, all right? Now, how do we calculate the bonus then? The first step is always to calculate what is your accumulative PV. Now, in this case, it's 3,000 PV. 3,000 PV is 12%, right? The next one is, you know, you have your personal customers, right? So if you times it with the PV, right? And times back, the formula that you have calculated just now, you'll be able to get, the bonus. And the second part is, now that you already have business partners, you are also entitled for a group performance bonus. Now, I think it's very hard for you to imagine. I'll give you a real life example. Now, say for example, this is the network that I have, right? So if the first step always to calculate my total PV, say 3,000 PV will entitle me a 12%, right? And the next one is to calculate, on my personal customer side, how much will I get? Now, 600 PV, if I were to convert to ringgit, I will times 4 ringgit, right? And then I'll also times 12% because my entitlement is 12%. And that will give me 288 ringgit. That's the first level. On the second level, we talk about group PV, right? So over here, I have 4 business partners, and each and every one of them is actually a 3%. That means there is a differential percentage between me and also my business partner, which is 9%. So with that, you are able to times 9% plus, 4 ringgit, because you want to convert it into the business volume, right? Then you get 864 ringgit. So if you total up, your bonuses as a 12% is 1,152 ringgit. All right. So that's the second step. Now that you're able to achieve 12%, you should be able to duplicate to your business partner as well, right? So, the third step is the same thing. Now, for example, if you teach 4% to build 12%, right? And you yourself have another 600 PV consumer network. So if you add it up, right, your total PV is 15,000 PV. Now, 15,000 PV, if you look at the tiering system, is more than 12,500. So actually, it falls under the tiering of 21%. All right. So your personal part is actually 600 PV. You convert it into ringgit and times 21%. You get 504 ringgit. Now, the second part is that, you have 8 different business partners. So each 4 business partner actually falls under 12% category, and the other 4 falls under 3% category because 600 PV. And you times that accordingly to the formula that I have talked to you just now, and total up as a 21%, you'll be able to earn 6,552 ringgit. Now, if it's a bit confusing for you, let me just summarize for you. Now, in order to become a 21%, you only need to do 3 steps. First one, build your 600 PV consumer network. Second step, you build another 4 business partner and teach them how to build a 600 PV consumer network, and you become a 12%er. With that, you earn about 1,152 ringgit. And if you teach these 4 business partner, to become a 12%, you become a 21% and you earn about 6,552 ringgit. So just these 3 steps, all right? So that's performance bonus. Now, the next bonus that I would love to talk to you is actually Ruby bonus, right? Now, what is Ruby bonus? Now, we know that in Amway, the highest tiering you can go is 21%, right? But because Amway is a networking business, if the product is good, you cannot deny that one day the consumption might be double of the 21% volume. I'll give you examples. Now, today, if you have a network of 100 people, which contribute to about 50,000 of consumption, 50,000 ringgit of consumption, that will give you a 21% volume, right? Now, you may also realize that some people will grow their group, faster and bigger and become a 200 people network. And that 200 people might consume 2 times, right? Which means it's 100,000 ringgit per month. So if that happens, which means that your PV from 12,500, whenever you reach 25,000, you'll be entitled with the Ruby bonus. Now, the Ruby bonus calculation is quite straightforward, whereby you'll be able to entitle additional 2% of the bonus. Okay, I'll give you examples. Now, say for example, this is a 21% structure and network that we had built just now, right? Now, what if instead of having, 4 600 PV and, 4 3,000 PV group, now I have 8 3,000 PV group, right? And from my personal 600 PV, I actually grow my business personal business to 1,000 PV. So when I add it up, it will give me 25,000 PV, right? So the calculation part, okay? Okay, now first, it's always to determine, my personal, PV, right? So, my personal customer is 1,000 PV. I times 21%, I times 4 ringgit, it gives me 504 ringgit. But because, my total PV is at least 25,000, right? That will give me additional 2%. Same calculation. So you just replace it with 2%, and that's the additional that I will get. The same application and calculation will goes to the group as well. So now you see between 21% and my business partner 12%, there is a differential of 9%, right? So if times the differential, I'll get 8,000 because there are 8 groups, right? But because I'm also a Ruby bonus recipient, the same volume, business volume, I can times another 2%, which will give me about 2,000 ringgit. And when I add it up, instead of getting, 6,500 ringgit as a 21%er, a Ruby bonus recipient will then entitle me of 11,144 ringgit. Okay. Now, if we're able to achieve 21%, right, and that's the highest tiering we can go in the performance bonus tiering. So if I achieve 1 month 21%, right, I'm called a silver producer. 3 months, I'm called gold producer. Six months, I'm called platinum. And if in a calendar year of 12 months, every month when I achieve 21%, I'm called a founder's platinum, right? Now, how much does a founder's platinum can earn? Now, imagine this. You started your Amway business, the first step, you built on 600 PV, right? And then you start to duplicate to 4 business partners. You become a 12%. That's the second step. Now, the third step, you actually teach your 4 business partners to become a 12%, you become a 21%. So after completed the 3 steps, essentially every month, you will then have a 21% business volume. Now, with that, if for 12 consecutive months, when you achieve 21%, how much will you be earning, right? So that will be 6,552 times 12 months. So your annual income, regardless of whether you are full-time, you're part-time in the business, you'll be entitled about 78,624 ringgit. I would say that, this amount of money is not significant because you will still be able to earn or even earn more, right? By having a full-time employment. Your annual income might be more than this. But, let's look at this. What if this is additional, something extra on top of what you have been earning in your 9-to-5 job? That will be significant, right? Now, the next bonus that I'm going to talk to you is leadership bonus. Now, we know that, this is a business, right? Now, the highest level one can go, as what I've presented to you just now, is 21%. So today, if I bring in 4 business partners in the business, right, I also hope that they can achieve 21% to earn, as much as me, if not more than me, right? So this is what will happen, right? Now, if this is myself, right, if I'm able to duplicate a 21%er or a silver producer, Amway will reward me with an additional 6%. It's called leadership bonus. Now, 6% leadership bonus is minimum 3,000 ringgit. All right. But bear in mind that, this 6% is not taken from our business partner. This 6% is actually from another profit pool of the Amway profit margin. So the more we build, the bigger we build, right? The more leadership bonus we will be able to get. Now, say for example, if I started the Amway business pretty young, right? So, I started at 25 years old. But, it took me 5 years to become a 21% and another 5 years to be able to find or, produce 121% in my network. So all in, it takes me 10 years to actually produce a 21%er. Now, people will ask, is it worth your time, to actually put on your business partner? Because, they will take their own sweet time, they might not follow your pace and things like that. Now, let's see. Yeah. say if I'm able to live until the age of 80 years old, because of Nutrilite and my healthy lifestyle. So essentially, I'm able to produce a 21% 10 years after 25 years old, which means that at that time, I am 35 years old, right? So if I'm able to live until 80 years old, that means I still have 45 years to go before I die, which translated into 540 months. Now, let's look at this. 540 months, if every month Amway were to reward me with a 6% leadership bonus of 3,000 ringgit, if 3,000 ringgit I were to times 540 months, that will be equivalent to 1.62 million ringgit, which means that even if I spend like 10 years, right, to produce a 21% percenter in my group, in my network, right, Amway will still reward me about 1.62 million ringgit. And that's only one. What if I'm able to work together with 3, with 6, with 10? Amway is not a pyramid scheme, which means that you can build how big your network, it's all depending on our choice, right? Now, if I were to compare this leadership bonus with, other investment portfolio, I'll take property as an example, right? Now, what if I have a portfolio property of 1 million ringgit, right? If 1 million ringgit, maybe that's equivalent to 2, condo of 500,000 ringgit each. Now, 500,000, I still have to take loan, right? Because I don't have 1 million cash, which means that I have to take 35 years loan of 5,000 ringgit. Every month I have to pay back to the bank. And if, the rental per unit is 1,500 ringgit, for 2 units, I'll be able to rent out 3,000 ringgit. But bear in mind that this is not my net income. Why? Because the rental that I get, I'll still have to top up to pay up for my bank loans, right? And I'm only able, to enjoy this net 3,000 ringgit of, rental income after 35 years. That's when I settle my bank loan. Okay, so it takes time. But what if, with the same, I don't have capital, right? But I focus my energy and my time and my effort in Amway. Every time when I produce a 21%, Amway will reward me with 3,000 ringgit. So I don't think you take 35 years, to produce a 21%, right? Now, essentially, if you follow, the eCVI platform step by step, you'll be able to do that in 1 year, 2 years, or even 3 years. That's very normal. Now, we call this not a property asset, but instead it's a network asset. That is why, can you imagine, if you're able to produce 121%, essentially you're actually owning equivalent to 1 million ringgit cash property asset, right? But the form that we get is actually in the form of network asset. So if I'm able to produce 121%, I get 1.62 million. 2, become 3 million. If I have 3, I have 4, it will times up accordingly. So what I want to tell you is, instead of, raising capital to put in, other portfolio of investment, Amway is definitely worth our time to explore and to build leader. The reason why is we don't need 1 million cash, and we'll still be able to create an equivalent valuable asset in the form of network asset, right? So that's the 4 income that I've talked to you about, right? Which is, number 1, the retail profit. Number 2, the performance bonus. Number 3, the Ruby bonus. Number 4, the leadership bonus. Now, I'm going to talk to you on the 5th income, which is the monthly debt bonus. Okay. Now, do you remember that, in the performance bonus, you do the 3 steps, you become a 21%. Now, after that, you also want the people that you brought in together to become 21%, right? And Amway will reward us a leadership bonus. Now, is it also possible that, the people that we brought in also produces a 21% in their network? That's 100% possible. And when that happens, right, you'll be entitled with 1%, of 50,000, which is equivalent to about 500 ringgit per month. Now, monthly debt bonus, is you will get this entitlement, right? When you have at least like, 3 21%, in front of you, which means that you actually receive, 3 6% leadership bonus. Now, anyone that become 21%, after them, you'll be entitled to 1%. Now, I'll give you an example. It's easier for you to understand. Now, let's look at this, right? When you build your Amway business, right, from 1 to 3 years, maybe you produce, 6%, right? But, as time goes, because the product is good, the rewarding system is good, more people would want to build it, more people would want to use the product. So that will be a normal for your network to grow and to produce more 21% or a silver producer in your network. Now, I give you an example. If you work with 3%, right, and you build it for 10 years, okay, after that you retire. Now, this 3% will give you a 6% leadership bonus. Now, the rest of any of the business builder below them who achieve 21%, you'll be entitled a 1% monthly debt bonus, right? So if you look at the first network, right, the green color one, say if you have 13 people, right, achieve 21%, which means that each and everyone contributed 500 ringgit, and you times 13 people, that will give you monthly 6,500 ringgit, right? And if you plus your 6%, that will be even more, right? So like say your second network, right? You have like 12 1%, 12 21%, you are entitled with, 12 times 500 ringgit, which will give you 6,000 ringgit. So the more it goes, the more you will get, right? So which means that to a certain extent, our effort in Amway will be accumulative, right? And it's so much different compared to the conventional job that we have. I'll give you examples, right? Say, for example, today you work for a company, you are a general manager, right? And you train up, say, 10 senior manager below you. One day, when we left the company, will we still be rewarded, with the effort that we put in the company? No, because that would then belongs to the company that I used to work, right? But in Amway, it's different. When we put in our time, when we put in our effort, each and every 21% that we produce, not just, directly under us, the whole network, that will be related to you, and Amway will reward accordingly through this monthly debt bonus. All right. So I finished 5 bonuses, 5 more to go. Now the 6, 7, and 8 is pretty straightforward. I will call it as a profit pool sharing. Now in profit pool sharing, right, I think, as a partner in the company, as a senior management team, sometimes you'll be able to entitle for profit pool sharing. Now say if I take it as a cake, right, which means that if 5% share a cake, that means each and everyone will get a piece, right? But can you imagine, the problem is when more people would want to share the profit, my cake becomes smaller. I'll give you examples. Initially, it was 5% sharing. This is the size of my cake, pretty big, okay? But what if next year, 10% would want to share the cake? My cake become half of what I used to get. So that's not good, right? So which means that the more people sharing the profit pool, the lesser we will get. That's in conventional type of profit sharing. Now, what about in Amway? In Amway, sometimes today you are sitting here, I might not be related to your business, and you might not be related to my business. And today I don't even get a single cent by sharing with you. But look at this. Why would I want to encourage you to go at least Emerald and above? The reason why is whenever an ABO in Malaysia achieve an Emerald and above, your business volume will actually be contributed in the profit pool sharing, which means that the more people achieve it, the more people will share it. But at the same time, the size of the cake will also increase accordingly. So there won't be any suppression on you or on anyone because there's no conflict of interest involved. And that means, regardless of where we come from, as long as we're in the Amway business, we will genuinely be able to encourage each other to go at least Emerald and above, so that when we achieve it, we will get an equal share of the profit without shrinking. That means the more people achieve it, the size of the cake will also become bigger, right? Now, what is Emerald? Do you remember that, in order to achieve 21%, you do 3 steps, right? Emerald means when you teach at least 3% to achieve a platinum that year. Platinum means 6 months of 21%. You will be able to entitle for the Emerald bonus, right? Now, what is diamond bonus? Diamond bonus means instead of 3%, you work together with at least 6%, you'll be entitled for the diamond bonus, right? What is diamond plus? If you work with, you produce 6 platinum, you're called a diamond. If you produce more than 6 platinum, you're also called a diamond, right? So, but if you have at least 7 platinum, right, in your group, you'll be entitled an additional bonus called the diamond plus bonus. Now, how is it calculated? So all these 3, I categorize it under the profit sharing bonus. Yep. Malaysia started pretty early in Asia, right, in the year of 1976. And that's the reason why the market of Indonesia, Thailand, Russia, Taiwan, and also India and China. Can you imagine? All these countries, the Amway business are initiated and also penetrated by Malaysian, which means that all the profit pool, will also be inclusive of the business volume that is created by Malaysian, even though the business is actually overseas, right? And Emerald bonus means that the total revenue, right? Say if it's 1 billion ringgit per year, Amway will take 0.25% of 1 billion ringgit to be distributed to all these Emerald and Diamond recipients. Okay, now I'll give you examples. Say if 0.25% for Emerald bonus, 0.25% of Diamond bonus, and 0.25 of Diamond Plus bonus, right? So if the revenue of Amway business is 1 billion ringgit in Malaysia, right? So, when you take 0.25% out, it's 2.5 million. Now, say if you have, say, 100 Emerald in Malaysia, so that 2.5 million will be shared among these 100 Emerald in Malaysia. Now, a diamond, you also get 2.5 million profit pool. But now those who achieve diamond might not be as much as Emerald, maybe just 50. So can we imagine that that 2.5 million is shared among the 50 diamonds in Malaysia? Now, as a diamond, you are also an Emerald, right? Which means that on top of the diamond bonus, you also take the Emerald pool bonus as well. Now, what if you are a diamond with at least 7 legs, which means the 7 platinum and above? That 2.5 million, which is another profit pool, will be shared, say, among 10%, example, yeah? So on top of the Diamond Plus, you will get Emerald pool, you will get Diamond pool as well. So that's good, right? It's not like you take one of it. You take all when you achieve higher level. And if it's hard for you to imagine, if you are in stocks investment, sometimes people do invest in a blue chip stock, which means that a stock with the strong fundamentals and will give you a consistent and slightly higher, what do you call it, the incentive, right? So, in order to do that, we need capital and we also need vision. A lot of time people say that, the stock that I bought actually jumped, like 10% profit, right? But that the profit that I get is actually very much dependent on how much capital I actually put in. If I buy 1,000 ringgit of that stock, and if I buy 1 million ringgit of that stock, that will make a difference in my earning, right? So usually in order to invest, we need a strong capital. But if we start young, capital might be our downside of it, right? But actually we can also think about Amway because we can get the same return. We don't need capital, but with effort and persistency, we'll be able to do that. All right. So there we go. I'm going to the number 9 bonuses that I want to talk to you about tonight, which is the FAA bonus, or we call it the Founders Achievers Award. Now, what is FAA bonus? Now, do you remember that, when you achieve 21% for 12 consecutive months, you are called a Founders Platinum, right? And if you are able to, produce at least 3 platinum below you, you are called an emerald. If you are able to produce at least 6 platinum below you, you are called a diamond. Now, if the product is good, the plan is fair, the rewarding system is also good, you can realize that, as time goes, when we build the business, more people will use product, and at the same time, more people will build the business as well. That will actually translate to more people in your network will become Founders Platinum, Emerald, or Diamond. Now, say for example, I work in Amway for 10 years, right? And this is my structure as a diamond. Now, my first network, I actually have 1 Founders Platinum and 1 Founders Diamond. You know that FAA bonus will be rewarding based on the total point of my network. Now, example, if I have a Founders Platinum in my group, it will give me 1 point. If I have Emerald in my group, you'll give me 1.5 points. And if I have Diamond and above, they will give me 3 points. So in that particular year end, on top of the 8 bonuses that I've taken just now, Amway will calculate how many points I have in my network. So with that points, right, Amway will actually give me this FAA bonus. Now, I'll give you an example. This is Founders Platinum, 1 point, right? A Founders Diamond, which means that they have 6 Founders Platinum. A Diamond is 3 points. Founders Platinum is 1 point. So 6 Founders Platinum plus Diamond is 9 points, plus, say the upline is Founders Platinum, so 10 points. So when you add it up accordingly, right, essentially in this network, you get 20 points. All right. So then you will be able to have this multiplier chart. So minimum, if you are a 20 points FAA bonus point, you'll be able to multiply your total performance, Ruby, depth, and leadership bonus for that year. Now, say for example, in that year, my average monthly income is 32,552 ringgit. Now, with FAA point, I'm entitled 20 points, so I'm able to times 200%. Now, 200%, instead of like, I'm supposed to earn about 32,000 per month, because of FAA bonus multiplier, I now earn 65,104 ringgit per month. So essentially, the more points that we accumulate, the higher the multiplier percentage. Now, this is very different from the usual employment. I'm not saying employment is not good. And what I want to emphasize is there's no right or wrong. This is just a different nature of game, and the rule is different, right? Now, I'll give you an example. Before we start working, right, we earn 0 income because we haven't started working, right? So we work very hard, say at the age of 24 until 55. And at the age of 56, we retire. Even though we can draw 100,000 monthly salary at the age of 55, at the age of 56, we will get 0 active income, right? Because we have retired. Amway is different. What if throughout that 30 years, I put in an equal or even more effort in Amway, right? And I'm able to produce, a lot of points based on the number of leaders that I'm able to nurture. So that will actually translate, into the multiplier, which actually with time, right, my income security is even better, right? And number 10 bonus is actually what I call a Core Plus bonus. Now, Core Plus bonus just started, since September last year. So, with the 9 income that we have just now, and we plus another one to make the bonuses even more attractive and competitive. Now, under Core Plus bonus, there are a few categories, right? And this Core Plus bonus will actually reward 2 things. Number 1, my personal growth, right? And number 2, how many leaders I'm able to grow. right? As simple as that. Number one, my own personal growth. Now, personal growth means something like this. Now, say for example, like last year compared to this year, right? Amway will compare whether, my business volume has up. Give you an example. If, I'm below platinum, I haven't achieved platinum yet last year. But this year, I'm able to increase the number of Q. Q means 21% month. Q means qualifying month, right? So if I'm able to have additional, right, 1 to 5 months, if I'm not platinum yet, Amway will actually give me additional 15% of what I've earned that year as a bonus, right? If you are in sales, right? If you're in any job, if you're in sales, will you get like, this year your boss give you a target. Next year, they say, all right, your target is maintained. It's impossible, right? All the targets will be increased accordingly. But in Amway, even though I maintain my performance like last year, Amway will still give me a 15% additional bonus of what I'm supposed to earn. And if I'm a platinum and above, if I increase my number of Q, that means number of 21%, right, month in one calendar year. Say if 1 to 5, Amway will give me 25%, 6 and above, Amway will give me 30%. Now I give you examples. Last year, I have not achieved any 21% month. And this year, I achieved 12 months, 21%. Now 12 months, if you look at this, is more than 6, right? So I'm actually entitled 30% extra of my income. Do you still remember that as a founder's platinum, I'm supposed to earn 78,000? Because every month when I earn 6,500, when I times 12, this is what I get. But because of this Core Plus bonus, I'm still able to get additional 30%, and that will give me extra 23,587 ringgit. All right. So, Amway also reward me with 2-time cash incentive, which means that the first time, if I achieve that level, Amway will actually give me, one go, cash bonus. And the cash bonus is taken in 2 years instead of 1. So that's good, right? So the higher I go, the more I will get. Can you imagine if I achieve diamond, right? Like this year, on top of the income that I get just now, right? I'll still get additional 62,500 ringgit. And that's what I call the 2-time cash incentive. Now, this is on what we call a personal growth level. Now, what if we are able to work together with others and nurture them in the business? And we will also reward that as well. Now, okay, I'll give you an example now. Say if you achieve platinum and founders platinum at the same year, right? So with the 2-time cash incentive, you'll be able to earn 50,000 but 75,000. That will be equivalent to 22,500 ringgit, which means that for the first year when you achieve platinum and founders platinum, right, your annual income, if you add it up, right, will be 124,000 ringgit. It's not much, but if it's something additional on top of your current income in your business or in your work, that is pretty significant. The next one, as I said, Amway will also reward based on the number of leaders, right, that I help to grow. Okay, so it's not like just helping myself, right, being selfish. Amway will also encourage us to actually help others so that Amway will also reward us accordingly. So I think the culture is pretty different, right? Because in conventional work, the number of position is very limited. That is why, not because I don't want to help, but because there are only this much of position up there, I want to go up. I cannot teach whatever that I know to you because I want to go up. But in Amway, it's different because, regardless of how many people achieve it, as long as you achieve it, the incentive will be there, right? So, everyone will help each other. Now, I'll give you an example. Say, if you achieve you produce a 21%, Amway will actually reward a 6% leadership bonus, which is equivalent to 3,000 ringgit. Remember? So say if you are an emerald, right? And as an emerald, you have 3 platinum, but the performance of these 3 platinum is different, right? So the first one, she achieved 8 months of 21%. Second one achieved 6 months, and the third one achieved 12 months of 21%. So last year, right? Maybe you have not produced any 21%, but this year you're able to produce 3, right? With that, your leadership bonus will be 69,000 if you times it accordingly. Okay. Now, because last year I have not produced any 21%, this year I'm able to produce 3, right? And the number of 21% month, if I add it up, is 23 months. So I call it a 23 FQ. Now, if you maintain, it's 15%. If you grow 1 to 5 months, it's 25%. If you grow 6 and above, it's 35%, right? So because I grow more than 6, I'm entitled with, a 35% extra. So if I times that, I'll get additional 24,150 ringgit. Now, what if I'm not Founders Platinum? What if I'm a Diamond and above? So, I'll still get the chart. It's just that my percentage is significantly higher. So, same thing. If I'm a Diamond, I have 6 leg, right? And if I calculate the total 21% month, I add it up, my leadership bonus will be 156,000. But because I'm a Diamond, my monthly debt bonus can be calculated and included as well. So if I add it up, example, my total 1% is 114,000 that year, all right? So, because I grow more than 6 months, which is 52 months, I get 55%. So can you imagine that 55% will be calculated based on our leadership bonus and our monthly debt bonus. So with that, I get additional 148,000, right? So, of course, as a Diamond and above, executive Diamond and above, we will also get like 2-time cash award. It's just the same as just now, but the difference is that, the figure is so much higher. All right. So as an Founders Emerald, this is what you earn based on the income that I have talked to you just now. This is an annual income of a Founders Diamond, right? So what have I talked to you today about the bonuses? 10 different type of bonus that is, divided into core plan and also a core plus plan, right? But if I do look, one level down, you realize that, in our business or conventional job, the type of income that we get is quite straightforward. But in Amway, do you know that the first 3 income is actually an active income? The more you do, the more you get, right? But the good thing about Amway business is that, when you work hard enough, the active income and when you produce leader, you'll be entitled a passive income of leadership bonus, 6%, and also the monthly debt bonus of 1%. Then you move up, you get profit sharing as well. And last but not least, the FAA bonus and the Core Plus bonus is actually a multiplier bonus. So in Amway business, as long as I build a solid foundation and keep growing, I'll be entitled with all these different type of bonuses. And not just that, I think the good thing is that it can be inherited by our next generation. And that's the best thing that we want, right? That means the longer and the more effort that we put in, the bigger the reward it is, all right? I've talked to you about, a perfect business plan that will actually contribute to a fantastic bonus return. But the thing is, regardless of how good a company is, if it's not related to us, it's equal to 0, right? I mean, on top of Amway, there are so much more good company out there. But the thing is, when that particular company grow, does it contribute to my income as well? Now, in Amway, it's different, right? Everyone can sign up Amway. But the thing is, sign up is just the first step. But how do we build the business so that we will be able to achieve all the bonuses that I've talked to you just now? So that's when you really need a system or a business school to start with. If you cannot understand that, let me give you an example. Now, say if I'm selling you an MacBook Pro, the latest version, right? So that's a very good tool. That's a very good laptop. The reason why you buy this laptop is because you want to do presentation. But what if I tell you that laptop is running on Windows 98 and it doesn't have a Keynote software or it doesn't have a Microsoft PPT, a PowerPoint presentation? So regardless of how good is my laptop, right? I still cannot use it because it doesn't serve the purpose, right? So Amway is like the laptop, the latest, fantastic, highest spec laptop. Excellent CVI will be the operating system and also the software to run the laptop so that it can achieve our objective. Now, in Amway, the objective is always to get financially and also time freedom. And that's where this excellent CVI can help us to move faster, to expedite, to our destination. Now, what is eCVI, right? As I said, CVI is just like a software, teaching us from 0 to 100 on how to run the business. And, it is supported as well. And today, if you look at, any other brand, right, everything is running on, what do you call that? A networking system. That is why, and everyone is working with each other. For example, you have a lot of, say, like Starbucks, right? They also leverage on the Grab platform so that, they work together, synergism, right? In Amway, you can start up Amway, but the thing is, if you don't have resources, you don't have support, you'll be stuck there. That is why, if many years ago, you will hear about people, will tell you, I've joined Amway before, right? So Amway is not for me. If Amway is good, I would have been a diamond and above right now. But the thing is, if you don't get the right support, it's very hard to grow the business. I'll give you another examples. Now, chicken, right? Ayam. Okay. No, chicken itself, you can cook in different type of cuisine and recipe, right? You can ayam masak merah, you can have, chicken variable and things like that. But you can also fried chicken, right? But the thing is, fried chicken is the most simple and straightforward thing, right? But but it might not be as tasty as the rest. I love like ayam masak merah, But the thing is, fried chicken actually earn the most. Why? Because they are running on system, right? That's why it's called Kentucky Fried Chicken, and you can have a lot of franchise. Any Kentucky Fried Chicken that you buy from any outlet, right, it will taste the same. But the problem with ayam masak merah is that it is so much dependent on the chef itself. So, the ayam masak merah that you eat from this warung is different from that gerai. And that is why you can build, a good business, but you can't build a big business. That is why we need eCVI as a system so that our business can be duplicated easily and it can grow, bigger. All right. So, MCO is just temporarily, and one day we'll still back to our physical, keep in touch with people, right? But on top of the online support that we have right now, we must also acknowledge that there will be people who are more fond of meeting people, of going to physical meetings, right? On going to face-to-face support. Or we might have people who might not so, online savvy, right? So that is when the nationwide support is very important, right? And in Malaysia, we have at least 15 centers in the whole Malaysia to support us, right? In different language as well. Now, can you imagine that if today you are in Johor, you have a friend in Sabah, Kota Kinabalu, you can just, plug in them into the eCVI support system. Whatever that you learn in Johor will be equivalent, the quality is the same as in Sabah. And that's when the business can really grow. Now, can you imagine if you don't have the support from eCVI? Say, if you're in Johor, how do you want to support a business partner in KK then? You waste a lot of time and also resources, right, to travel through and flow. And that doesn't guarantee you success as well. So that is why with eCVI, things has moved so much quickly, right? And in Malaysia, right, we started in year 1976. And when it first started, there are actually 4 pioneers in Amway. And, they have more than 40 years expertise already. And, 2 of them is actually from eCVI. One of them is the founder of eCVI, Crown Ambassador Sunny and Guat Hua Ho, and also Founders Emerald, Lee Kai Long and Lam Kwai Lin. Now, the thing that I want to tell you is a lot of people will tell you, you can join Amway, right? And you can build together with me. Now, I'll give you examples. If my ambition is to become a doctor, right? I want to choose the best medical school with the best track record, right? If I tell you that, come to my medical school, already 20 years, my fees is cheaper, my lecturers is better. But the thing is, no one has graduated yet after 20 years. You are scared, right? You are reluctant, right? You want something that has been proven. The co-founder, has been reaching the highest pin in Malaysia. And that's what we want because the experiences and all the methods will be relevant. And it will be relevant for us to build the business, right? And of course, as a proven system, eCVI has more than 400 platinum and above, which means that it has produced more than 400 platinum and above, right? So that's the proven track record that we really want, right? And of course, how to do the business, I'm not covering it this week. If you're interested, please do tune in next week because our guest speaker will talk about the 8 golden keys. What is 8 golden keys? It's standard operating procedure, how to do Amway. Now, for example, you might be asking, what should I do on daily basis? How much time should I put in Amway? And in that particular time, what should I do? All these will be covered, right? And, as a system, we have different kind of support demand as well. Initially, it's all about business opportunity. People listen to business opportunity. They look at the potential. They want to join the business. After that, when they decided to, wanting to build the business, then it comes to the second level of training, which is the skills and development training. And, we have like FitFreak and Udemy to support that. Of course, when you build the business on personal level, then we will start to grow. That's when the leadership development training will come in. Eager Club and ADT will then play a good role in it. And of course, we also have some specialized needs, right? And we have MUS, BS, SLS, and YES. Don't worry about it. If you want to know more, you can always ask the people who brought you here today, right? So, time has changed so much. Last time we used to use a mobile phone. Now it's all about smartphone, right? And apps has been one of the very important thing that we want, right? And in eCVI, we're also proud to tell you that we have an app called an EVA, right? So what will EVA do? You can actually set your calendar an appointment. You can access to the 8 golden keys resources. It will help you to set to-do lists, goal setting and tracking, your statistics, news and update, event registration, all with just one click away in your apps. And this is very important because we want to move the business ahead with time. And if better, we can move ahead, right? I'll give you an example. This is an example that I love to give. Say today, if I'm a CEO for an Apple company, right? And I would like to offer you a distributorship, a sole distributorship of iPhone in Malaysia, right? You just need to pay me 1,000 US dollar. I'll give you the distributorship. You know what is distributorship? Meaning that anyone in Malaysia who want to buy the iPhone have to buy from you. So that's actually a very good offer, right? But the terms and condition is that the iPhone that I'm offering you, it's iPhone 4. iPhone 4 used to be one of the best smartphone when it was launched. But today, iPhone 4 is no longer relevant because, we have so much more advanced iPhone available. That's the thing that I want to tell you. You can build Amway, as how we built it like 20 or 40 years ago. But the thing is, resources-wise, method-wise, we might be outdated. But with eCVI and with apps, right, we will go according to the needs of the current market. And that's the relevancy that we want to look at. And that's when eCVI can support us in that way. Of course, Malaysia is only one of the 100 countries that have Amway business. We want to build international business eventually. And that's when international affiliation is very important. Now, examples in Vietnam, we have a Crown Ambassador who used the same method, 8 golden keys, and achieved Crown Ambassadors in 5 years. right? So that has been proven, right? We also have in our affiliation examples, the first single Chinese lady crown ambassador from Hong Kong, Anita, right? And now, a double crown ambassador, right, with Clement. So we want access to the global support one day. We just don't want to be Jago Kampung only. We want to move ahead as well. And rest assured that ECVI will be able to support from there, right? And right now we even have an ECVI international cloud meetings. Today it's a nationwide plus Singapore meeting, right? And like every Saturday we also have international meetings. And that's when we can really tap into more resources and more knowledge so that we will be able to move forward even faster, right? So, I've talked to you about the complete Amway business solution, the software, right, on how to achieve the 10 income that I've talked to you just now. So today, I think that's all from my side. So the thing is, I want to tell you something. If today you feel that, whatever that you have listened, you're a bit confused or you have any questions because of time constraint, I'm not able to answer you one by one, but you can always talk to the person who bring you here today because they are very experienced. They can answer you as well. And if you want to listen one more time, right, you don't have to pay me. Next month, we'll have the same session, same content, right? So that when you build the business, when you grow the business, you have new ABOs, you can always invite them to the next month session as well. So that's what we call a duplicable business support, right? So with that, I thank you very much for your kind attention today, and I wish to listen to you in the future. So once again, thanks to ECVI for the learning opportunity for everyone, and we hope we can grow together one day. With that, I'm signing off. I'm Kate. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope it helps. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.